Hey guys, welcome back to another Vinny Vid Productions. I'm going to delay posting my ethanol plant part 3 for a few more hours, maybe tomorrow morning, I'm not quite sure. But I'm doing this special video first because my subscribers asked me for some questions and some how-tos, so I decided to do those guys first because they're more important to me than posting my own videos. Anyhow, I did try to send them private videos, and for some reason or another YouTube didn't send it to them, so I'm going to do it this way and everybody can see it. There's nothing big or bad about it. It's just helping one guy, sorry Ray, Ray Pruitt. He needed help on some wiring, and Lynn from L&L Railroads showed me a picture of his layout the other day, or actually a video of his layout the other day, and I told him that he could make his yard a little bit more efficient. So I am going to show him how my yard is set up, and hopefully he'll be able to use that information on his layout. Anyhow, like I said, this is going to be a double header. It's about 13 minutes long. Most of you guys don't have to watch it if you don't want to, but if you do, it might even help you guys. So anyhow, let's get on with the video. Be right back. Okay, Ray, we're going to give you a little demonstration on how blocked DC system works, and I'll show you on this page right here, and then I'll flip this page over and show you what your layout's going to look like. Anyhow, we're going to start off here with the power supply, and then we're going to have barrier strips, 2 of them, and you need to watch my video that's a special request for wiring layout. It was about 2 weeks ago, and you'll know what I'm talking about with these guys right here. Okay, so you're going to need barrier strips, you're going to need toggle switches, on and off toggle switches. Anyhow, we're going to start power supply here, and the power supply is going to go over to the barrier strip, and then from the barrier strip we're going to take it up and we're going to go to the first toggle switch. From the toggle switch we're going to close it, and we're going to go to this rail right here. Now you need to insulate or put a gap in the rails right here. I would prefer you put insulated joiners in between the track. So anyhow, once you get the I'm using blue just to give you a differentiate between the color of wires. You could use whatever color wires you want. Anyhow, we're going to come here, and these will all be connected. When you look at my video, you'll understand what I'm talking about here. Excuse me. But anyhow, we're going to come out of the power supply, and we're going to go through the barrier strip, and then up to the toggle switch. And if you want it off, you just put it one way, and it won't have a connection inside the switch. But if you want it on, you flip the switch, and then you'll get power to this rail right here. Now, on the other side of the power pack, which is the red wire, also goes to a barrier strip, and again these will all be connected, so you can use any one of these terminals right here to do what you need to do. Anyhow, it'll go through the barrier strip, and it'll come out the barrier strip here, and it'll go to the other rail. Now the red wires are basically a common wire. They don't need to get switched. That'll just keep the power going through the entire layout. So this would be block 1, this would be block 2, and this would be block 3. Again, you need to insulate every place that you want to block from the previous section of track. Okay. So now that we got the basics down, I will go ahead and flip this over and show you what your wiring diagram is going to look at. So I'll be right back. Okay, Ray, this looks a lot more complicated than what it actually is. It's basically just repetition of what I just showed you about the basics. Anyhow, let's take it for a ride, and I'll show you what's happening here. This is your power supply. Okay, and from the power supply we're going to come out, and we're going to go to your first barrier strip. And like I said, all of these terminals in here will be connected, so you won't have to worry about which one of these you put any wire on. It doesn't make a difference. But anyhow, the wires need to stay consistent in color and consistent on the same rail. So now we'll come out of the power pack, we'll go through the barrier strip, and we'll take this first line out, and you see it goes across, and it comes up to this first toggle switch right here. Now if the toggle switch is off, this track right here would be dead. When you flip that switch, it'll power up this side, and it'll go through your locomotive and back out the red wire, which I told you before is your common wire. It really doesn't have to get insulated on that rail, but I prefer to do it that way so there's no problems. But anyhow, all your common wires are here. Now there's 2 wires that don't need to get insulated, and that's because it'll be on your main line, which you don't want to have dead anyhow. So if you notice down here I have an orange wire, and it comes up and it connects to this track right here, and it comes up further and it connects to this track right here, and it comes up further and connects to this track here. Also the red wire, which is also your common wire again, it comes back down and it'll connect here and come back down to here. The orange and this particular red wire do not need to get a switch. That's your common, and it'll make your layout section here that you do not want blocked. It'll give it power. And also, as you can see here, I have orange wire coming down here. And don't get confused right here. It just goes to this terminal right here. So basically, it's just a matter of wherever you want a block, you need to insulate it and just run another toggle switch or whatever you want to do. Anyhow, if you have any questions, let me know and I will get back to you and try and help you as much as I can. I mean, we're thousands of miles away from each other, so it's hard for me to come there and show you how to do it. So I think this is pretty easy for you to understand. If you have any problems, just send me a message or whatever. I'm going to try and do a short video on this and send it to you in a private video, so we'll see what happens. Anyhow, I'll talk at you later. This is Vinny, and I'll see you in a while. Bye. Okay, Lynn, this is a video I'm making special for you, so let's go through what I have going on here. Here is where we're coming out from the second room, and if a train is on this track here, he has 3 options. First option is to carry on and go straight, and if he goes straight, he goes directly into the yard. Second option would be he can come down here and do a crossover and continue around the entire layout and come back out on this track right here and go on back out to the layout. So that would give me my loop. The third option would be coming in here, and he takes this turnout and comes this way. He can go around the entire loop and actually reverse directions, and that's where the reverse loop comes in. Anyhow, let me get you over to the next part of the yard system that I have, and you'll see what's happening. Okay, let's see if I can get this in here. Oop, sorry for the arm. Alright, now a train coming the opposite way, coming out of the yard, would have the option of either continuing on here or making a crossover and going on to the other part of the layout, which would give me another loop. Anyhow, we'll get you over to the yard and we'll show you what's going on there. So hang on. I've got to move the camera over, so I'm going to cut this right now and then we'll get back to it. Alright, the rest of this video is probably going to be a little shaky because I'm hand holding the camera rather than use a tripod. So anyhow, I showed you what's happening here with this crossover, and now we'll come to this turnout right here, which is an Atlas curved turnout. Yay for Atlas. He comes here this is my dedicated line for my tankers. These two track right here are dedicated lines for my tankers. But if he comes in on the outside line here, which I am going to be using as my arrival departure track, the trains would be left there, and then the switches would come out of the yard and pick up these cars here, back up, and go back to this crossover here and cross over, and then come into the yard lead. I'm calling this yard lead number 1. I keep knocking this stupid antenna over. I don't want to glue it because I know I'll break it. But anyhow, let me show you the configuration of the yard. As you can see, I get a better shot of this. I have my first turnout here, and it branches off to the next turnout here. But instead of doing a ladder all the way across, which would take up that much more room, what I did was came off the first turnout, went to the second turnout. Instead of using another left-hand turnout, I used a right-hand turnout, and then another right-hand turnout. And then this turnout here is so we can switch back onto the other track. Anyhow, you can see that by doing it this way, I save a whole bunch of room. If I had done the ladder all the way across like this, I would have lost a couple of feet of storage track. Anyhow, I hope this helps you out, and I'll go over this again. So on my longest track, I can get about 18 cars, and the length of my yard is approximately 12 feet, well actually 11 and a half. Now let me get over onto this side, and I mentioned to you that the locomotives would be on the arrival track here, but also when I get the money, I'm going to go ahead and buy a couple more turnouts. And as you can see down there, that empty track, well, that's going to be kind of like a siding passing, where this train would actually pull into that track and leave this track open as your loop track. I mentioned about the reverse loop, and it starts, actually, don't mind the layout, it's a mess right now. But anyhow, it starts right there. Anytime you have a track coming back onto itself, it's considered to be a reverse loop. So if you have something like that, you'll have to get a reversing unit, and they're not hard to hook up, but you need to do a lot of insulation. Anyhow, I'm hoping this helps you out. And as you can see, from that turnout right there, part of it goes to the yard, and also part of it goes to my fueling station, and as you go further back, goes into my engine storage facility. Also, I have a couple industries, or at least one industry that comes off, and that's my tank farm. Comes off from the same track there and pulls into here, and then I have loading and unloading of fuel or whatever they're depositing there. Anyhow, I'm hoping this helps you out. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call, Skype me, text me, whatever. Anyhow, for now, that's all. I hope this helps you out. BMSF 6951 out.